Welcome back to the preview show for week 3 of the Australian Cup Carnival at the Meadows this Saturday night. We've already got the Australian Cup under our belt, a preview of that, and also the Group 1 Rookie Rebel over the 600 metres. And now it's time to chime in to the Fanta Bale Stayers, Smithy, at Group 1 level. An honour roll, which is quite deep. Some of the biggest Stayers names that we've seen in recent years, and of course headlined in 2018 by the Queen.
Any list is headlined by Fanta Bale, if you ask me, Pat. She's an absolute superstar. She made the Australian Cup Carnival her own, and I think it's pretty reasonable to say that's why she's now got the race named after her. She won 4 of the 5 Group 1s over the Australian Cup. She won the Australian Cup, she won the Rookie Rebel, she won the Zoom Top, and she, of course, won the race that is now named in her honour. That used to be the Super Stayers, it's now the Fanta Bale, and she is an absolute superstar. The GOAT, if you ask me.
Let's take a look at the field for 2025, and with some big names out of the series, with the likes of Palawa King over 600 metres and the Rookie Rebel. You sense a bit of a changing in the guard in the staying ranks, don't we?
Absolutely. Val Policella, Palawa King, Kanya all class in the Australian Cup after taking out the Top Gun, Ritza Piper, Drill Sergeant retired, Lanfranco, Black Silencer, who featured in the Zoom Top. So there's a hell of a lot of names that we don't see, but what we do see is a really quality field, and we see some greyhounds that we probably haven't seen the best of yet, and we're still figuring them out. The likes of Unreal Speed, Passmark, you know what you're going to get, Ethanol Water. She's already a 2-time Group 1 winner as well. So this is definitely worthy of a Group 1 in this race.
And a speed map that's pretty clear-cut as well. Let's get into the heats from last Saturday night, starting with the one that was won by Ethanol Water. And, of course, the other one to progress, the two to progress out of this race was Shake and Bake wearing the pink rug, Flying Envy the 7. But this was a really confusing race, Smithy, because we were disappointed by Ethanol Water in the Zoom Top the week prior. She was better this time around, but still feels like there's so much to learn, because her last 100 metres in this run was about 6 to 7 lengths better than what it was in the Zoom Top. So it's really hard to know what to expect from her this week.
But she wasn't able to burn the candle at both ends. She came out really nicely. She had her nose in front going into that first split, and then she got swallowed up. Her mid-race pace probably wasn't quite there, but this is where she takes off again. And as you mentioned, her last 100 metres was really, really good. She takes over from Shake and Bake and Flying Envy, who hadn't really had a good grounding over the 700 metres like Ethanol Water had. So she was expected to run over the top of them late. But it's becoming a little bit hard to try and expect things with Ethanol Water. Sometimes she goes straight to the front and runs 41.50 at Albion Park, and other times, like that, she gets shuffled back in the field and runs home really strongly. So she's a classy conveyance, but her race pattern's getting a little confusing for mine.
It is, and she's got the draw to do whatever she wants this Saturday night, jumping from the red in the big G1. Now to move on to the second of the heats that was run and won by Groovebird, who's a greyhound who's just going from strength to strength. I mean, she's a very honest type, isn't she, Smithy? The other one to come out of this was Irish Millie wearing the black rug, but in Groovebird's circumstance, her speed between 50 and 100 and 100 to 200 is far superior to those she lines up against in the final.
Well, we spoke about how Ethanol Water can mix her race patterns. That's not the case for Groovebird. You know exactly what she's going to deliver, and that's early speed, a great turn of foot, and then she's going to get a little bit tired late. There's stronger dogs like Irish Millie in this race, who's noted stayer, who runs home about 4 lengths quicker than Groovebird, but Groovebird gets such a break on them here that she manages to hold on. So that's what she's going to do. That's the key to her race on Saturday night, is getting out in front and staving them off late.
She set a PB in the Zoom Top and lowered that in her heat of the Fanta Bale last weekend. Now to turn our attention to the favourite in this Fanta Bale Stayers. That is Unreal Speed, who's recently resumed to racing in the Zoom Top after so long off the track. He's the one who wins this heat. Of course, Late Night News is one who hits the line really well. And a sense with him, we haven't seen the best of him yet at the Meadows, but Unreal Speed is the one that stands out, Smithy, with an amazing mid-race pace.
Well, on paper, heading into this heat, this looked like a race that had plenty of questions for these young dogs to answer. Late Night News, Unreal Speed. You see Unreal Speed taking off here, and his mid-race burn is electric. We're still figuring out the sort of dog he is. He's only had 13 starts. He had 8 months off going into that Zoom Top before he ran a gallant placing. You know what you're going to get from Passmark. He's just a tough stayer that'll just do it week in, week out. But Late Night News is the one that I wanted to highlight because it's an intriguing sort of run home. Fastest overall traditional run home of the race, but a last 100 maybe peaked on the run.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, Irish Millie and Ethanol Water had better last 100 metre sections than late night news, but I think we've got to remember it was second outing at the track. He's still a baby. He's just turned 2 years of age, so plenty of improvement left from him. But this is a great race. A lot of attention will surround Unreal Speed. Who do you think is going to take it out?
I can't go against Unreal Speed. I'm loving what Robbie Ritten's done with this dog. It's one of the training performances, not only of the year, but in recent memory, to present him for a Zoom top, back him up in a Fanta Bale heat, and then become the fastest heat qualifier there. And box number 6, I don't see that as any sort of issue. He's shown the last couple of weeks he likes to use the track a little bit, stays up the track, and his mid-race pace is absolutely electric. So as long as he can sit on the outside of the pace from the likes of Groove Bird, which I think he can, then he's going to be able to take over mid-race, and it's all up to him whether he's strong enough at this stage after 3 weeks in a row over the 700.
And I'm with Unreal Speed as well. I mean, just look at this field. There's a lot of greyhounds with ability. They don't have the X factor and brilliance that I think Unreal Speed has, and I think as time goes on, the more runs he's going to get under his belt this campaign, the better he should get. So we're both with Unreal Speed for the Group 1 Fanta Bale at the Meadows this Saturday night, the feature event for the Stayers. So there's a wrap of the 3 Group 1s. We'll take a break and we'll be back with how the markets look ahead of the big ones on Saturday night.